Welcome back here at the DNC. We are live at the United Center. As the convention rolls on, we continue to have amazing guests. And this woman sitting next to me is no different. We have Becky Pringle here, who, by the way, is the president of the nation's largest union. It's the teachers union. Well, it's officially the National Education Association, which represents all of the teachers. How many members? Because I was thrown back. And welcome to Politics in Color.
Well, thank you. It's good to be back. We have 3 million members. Our members are in every single congressional district in this country.
The largest union in the country. And I always thought it was the UAW, all the automotive ones. You are running the largest, and can I say it's probably also underpaid, right? all those teachers and educators. Yeah. And it's interesting, now our new vice president candidate was in your system, right, as a teacher.
Certainly. Yes, he was.
Right.
We're very excited that we have a teacher voice who will be in the White House.
So your organization, tell us what their importance is for the Democratic National Convention as represented from the union.
Well, first of all, we represent the largest contingent of delegates here at this convention. We have for a long time. And to have educator voices, not just our teachers, but our support staff, bus drivers and secretaries, nurses and counselors, here representing our students and the people who have dedicated their lives to educating America's children, is absolutely essential, because you know what I believe, you know what's true, that public education is the foundation of our democracy.
So I remember one of the last times we spoke during COVID, listen, you were going through it. Well, the entire country was, but with your teachers and your educators, working from home and the issues that they had to deal with, you had to learn to pivot quickly in order to keep America's children educated, the students, keep them in colleges, to keep the universities on track. I remember we had those conversations. Right. What can you say to a woman like Vice President Harris, who has quickly had to pivot? It's been about, 17 days, or let's just say almost 3 weeks since she went from just coming to a convention like this to shake some hands to now being the presidential nominee. How do you pivot?
You know what I would say to her? I didn't think about this, and when I say, I will say this to her. When you asked the question, you know who I thought about? Marian Anderson, that amazing contralto singer, opera singer.
Yeah.
She said that leadership is the intersection between preparedness and opportunity. Mm-hmm. That is Kamala Harris. She is prepared. And this opportunity presented itself, and what did she do? She just went through that door, because she is ready to be the president of these United States. Joe Biden would not have selected her unless he knew she'd be ready day one. She is ready to not only continue the work that they have done over these past 3.5 years, which has been incredible for our students and public education and educators, but she has the record to prove it and the vision to inspire us all.
So you lead a group of 3 million Americans. She potentially will lead over 300 million Americans. What qualities does she need to have? Because I think one of the issues up so far has been we don't know who Kamala Harris is. We've seen her in this secondary role as vice president, but America does not know who she is. What type of leader is she? We saw you lead through COVID. We've seen you lead post-COVID and get the educational system back on track for America. What kind of leader will Vice President Harris be?
Well, she already has a strong record of leadership. But with Kamala, what you see is what you get. She is brilliant. She is determined. She is caring and compassionate. She is fierce and feisty. And she actually believes in the poetry of our Constitution, we the people. We the people, all of us deserve that right to be truly free. Mm-hmm. And it shows up in everything she does. And by the way, yes, she was the vice president. But in Kamala Harris, Joe Biden entrusted leading on the climate, leading on women's rights, leading on voting rights. So what you saw coming from this administration She was his partner in every way, leading on these issues that impact not just our students, but our communities.
And then we have to think about the black and brown vote. Sometimes our issues, or most times our issues, are not received or implemented. And there are different issues that come in, just like when in the education system. Little black and brown kids sometimes may need a little bit more attention, or they may have different circumstances at home. And so we need our educators to embrace them. How do you think Vice President Harris will embrace the black and brown voice and some of their issues that they're taking to the polls on November 5th?
One of the things that we've been working on, you've heard me talk about this before. I've called it a 5-alarm crisis when we talk about the educator shortage.
Yes.
And in partnering with the Biden-Harris administration, with Vice President Harris leading the way, one of the things that we are working on is increasing teacher salaries, because we know they've never been paid in a way that reflects the important work they do, but also respecting them as the professionals they are, making teaching and learning decisions. You hear talking about that all the time, that we should be able to teach the complete and true history of this country and understand how that history connects to the present. And you've seen her leading in making sure that the funding that's going to HBCUs and minority serving institutions in our tribal colleges, making sure that we are preparing teachers of color, because we know that they leave the teaching profession at a disparate rate. She has been leading on that effort, and we know that she will continue to do just that.
So so that she's an ally then for the educational system and for educators and for your organization? She
is absolutely an ally, and what our challenge that we are taking on is everyone will know Vice President Harris, as well as educators know Vice President Harris.
That's interesting. How was it under the Trump administration?
How long is this show?
We got time today, Becky. We got time today.
The first thing he did was to appoint Betsy DeVos as the Secretary of Education. Yeah. This is someone who literally saw it as her mission to destroy public education, to allow predatory lenders to take advantage of our college students. We've been talking about that. The Biden-Harris administration has done amazing work in eliminating,
which also affected a lot of black and brown people who rely on tuition, on financial aid.
To reduce their debt. And what did Betsy DeVos do? She had students who graduated, started teaching, and 5 years later they owed more than when they graduated. That's what he had in Betsy DeVos. He made sure that at every turn he diminished and dismissed and disregarded teachers as the education professionals they are. He made every effort and followed through on not funding our students with disabilities, not funding our students living in poverty. And we have but to look at Project 2025. He wants to diminish Head Start. That's where our kids get their start, especially those coming from our historically marginalized communities. So we have the evidence of what he's going to do. In addition to what he's going to say, we know there really isn't a choice in this country. There's no choice. It is Kamala Harris. It is Tim Walz.
And is that a message that you also push through the organization? Is that possible? Do obviously people vote for who they want to vote for, but are you also sharing the message of, hey, these are the positives that can work well for you and the union and educators across the country, or you can have this option, and we see what he did already. Is that a message that you're pushing out there?
Absolutely. And I'm also saying we have evidence of how that message worked in the elections in 2022 and the elections in 2023. We elected people from the school board all the way up to Congress who care about our kids and care about our communities and care about our colleagues, and who understand that public education is the foundation of this, and honestly, any democracy. Mm-hmm. We did that. So we know how to do it, and we're going to do it again.
So they've got your 5-point plan?
Oh. I only need 3. Organize, We need to organize everybody. Anyone who likes us or loves us or intends to keep living with us, they're going to vote. And they're going to vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. We're going to mobilize like never before. In fact, we're already doing it. We did trainings yesterday. We're going to make sure educators know how to tell their stories. You know that teachers are still the most trusted voice in any community. So they're going to be out knocking on doors. They're going to be gathering people in their homes. They're already doing it. And we're going to proselytize. We're going to make sure that we change hearts and minds, because guess what? We're going forward, not one step back.
That's well. They need you on the stage this week. Okay, you got the 5-point plan. Organize, mobilize, get out there, and get it done. Lastly, before I let you go, what's the one mission this week? What are you hoping to gain or get out of Chicago this week?
Hope. Hope. We know that we can't accomplish what we need to if we don't believe in the plausibility of the possible. When we leave this city, we will know what's possible. When we leave this city, we will understand our power, the ability to act, to influence, to make a difference. When we leave this city, we will be ready to win, not just the presidency. We're going to win all the things. All the things. We're going to win all the things.
All the things.
All the things.
I can't end it any better than that. Becky Pringle, good to see you again.
Always.
Thank
always.
you for being here on Politics in Color. She is the president of the nation's largest union association, Miss Becky Pringle.
Thank you.